Hey family, this is AfriVlog Updates, welcome back again. Our today's video is one that carries a lot of weight, not just for Africa, but for anyone who cares about independence, sovereignty, and what real power looks like when it rises from the ground up. This is how the Sahel escaped ECOWAS and found power in the desert. This is unbelievable. Before we dive deep, please hit that subscription button because you might not see us again. Turn on the notification bell and stay alert because this documentary is not just eye-opening, it's explosive. It gives us a front row seat to history being rewritten by Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso, countries that are saying enough is enough to external control, neocolonialism, and broken promises. This video is going to be my full, honest reaction. I'm going to break it all down, from their exit from ECOWAS to the formation of the Alliance of Sahel States, and yes, what it really means now that Russia is getting deeply involved. So, buckle up, because this is going to be a real one. If you care about African liberation, don't skip a second. When I first heard that Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso were leaving ECOWAS, I thought, wow, this is historic. But watching the documentary helped me understand the why, and it's deeper than just politics. These countries felt ECOWAS was no longer protecting their interests. Think about it, sanctions, outside pressures, and decisions being made that didn't benefit the people on the ground. When the leaders of these nations came together to form the Alliance of Sahel States, I felt something shift. That was power. That was unity. That was Africa saying, we are capable of leading ourselves. And you could see it in the footage, soldiers, community leaders, and everyday people coming together around this shared vision. They are not just reacting, they are creating. Mali, under Assimi Goïta, is taking a hard stance. A lot of people criticize military-led governments, and I get it. But you can't deny that Mali is trying to rebuild from the ground up. They are rejecting old structures, looking to create a 5-year plan without interference from Western powers. My reaction? It's risky, but sometimes leadership that listens to the people, even if it's not elected the traditional way, can achieve real change when institutions have failed for decades. And I respect that they are working to secure their country militarily and economically. That's a whole different level of strategy. Niger's story hit me hard. They've got some of the richest uranium deposits in the world, and yet their people remain some of the poorest. The documentary highlights how France was still heavily involved in the uranium sector, and now the new leadership says, not anymore. They are talking about reclaiming their resources, possibly nationalizing sectors that were once controlled by foreign companies. That's revolutionary. That's the kind of sovereignty we don't talk enough about, economic sovereignty. Not just waving flags, but owning what's underneath your soil. Now let's talk about Captain Ibrahim in Burkina Faso. He's young, he's charismatic, and is tapping into a deep well of frustration and hope. The documentary shows just how strongly the youth support him. TikToks, rallies, public speeches, this isn't just a military coup, it's a cultural movement. What really got me was the scene showing him thanking Putin. That's when you realize we're not just looking at a regional shakeup. This is global realignment. These leaders are not just rejecting ECOWAS, they are turning their backs on the West. And that brings us to the Russia angle. My honest take. Russia is moving fast to fill the void the West left behind. Military equipment, training, tech, Russia is offering it all. Now, I'm cautious. Because while it looks like Russia is helping them stand on their own 2 feet, history has taught us to be wary of any major power offering too much, too fast. That said, the Sahel nations are being smart. They are not begging, they are bargaining. They are entering this alliance on their own terms. They are demanding results. And the documentary shows that clearly. This isn't about surrender, it's about strategy. What this documentary really made me reflect on is, what kind of Africa do we want? Do we want one that waits for permission from outside forces? Or do we want an Africa that experiments, that fails sometimes, but ultimately finds its own way? Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso are giving us a prototype. It's not perfect. There's real risk. But it's theirs. And maybe, just maybe, that's what real independence finally looks like. Look, this documentary is not just about 3 countries. It's about a mindset shift across the continent. So here's my call to you, watch the film. Sit with it. Share it. Debate it. And to Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso, I see you. We see you. Your courage is shaping history in real time. Let me know in the comments, what do you think? Is this a brave new chapter for Africa? Or are we heading into dangerous waters? Either way, the world is watching the desert, and what's rising from it might just reshape the entire continent. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell, because you might not see us again. The Sahel region of Africa, encompassing Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso, has recently undergone significant geopolitical transformations. Once integral members of the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, these nations have charted a new course, seeking autonomy and forging new alliances. This shift has profound implications for regional stability, international relations, and the global balance of power. Part 1. Departing ECOWAS, a quest for sovereignty. In early 2024, Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso formally withdrew from ECOWAS, citing the bloc's perceived ineffectiveness and external influences. This collective departure was not merely a political statement but a strategic move towards self-determination and regional integration. The formation of the Alliance of Sahel States, AES, on July 6, 2024, marked a pivotal moment in this journey, aiming to create an African space of sovereignty in security, politics, geostrategy, and economics. Part 2. The Alliance of Sahel States, AES, Unity and Purpose. The AES represents a confederation of Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso, unified by shared challenges and aspirations. Key objectives of the AES include security cooperation, establishing a joint force of 5,000 troops to combat jihadist insurgencies and enhance regional stability. Economic integration, pursuing the creation of a common currency and investment bank to foster economic independence and development. Infrastructure development, planning joint projects such as interconnecting electrical grids, establishing regional airlines, and constructing roads and railways to improve connectivity and economic growth. Part 3. Mali, redefining leadership and alliances. Under the leadership of General Assimi Goïta, who came to power through coups in 2020 and 2021, Mali has embarked on a path of political restructuring. A national dialogue recommended naming Goïta as president for a renewable 5-year term and dissolving political parties, signaling a shift towards centralized governance. Mali has also strengthened its military capabilities through cooperation with Russia, acquiring advanced aerial equipment and participating in joint exercises to enhance counter-terrorism efforts. Part 4. Niger, resource control and strategic partnerships. Following a coup in 2023, Niger's military government has taken steps to assert control over its natural resources, notably uranium. The government has blocked uranium exports and is considering the sale of assets previously managed by French company Orano, reflecting a move to reduce Western economic influence. Niger has also aligned with Russia, participating in the AES joint force and exploring cooperation in areas such as satellite technology and nuclear energy.
They enjoy saying it every year in their economic surveys. Burkina Faso is the poorest country, Mali is the poorest country, Niger is the poorest country. We are ranked among the last. Very well, if we are as poor as they say. But when the time came to take responsibility, we asked these masters to leave. Why don't they want to leave? When we take the case of Niger, for over 40 years, some countries have been exploiting uranium to produce energy for themselves. From Ottawa to Paris, the streets are lit up. That's the light. But in Niger, it's darkness that is served to us. When you go to our states, our lands are riddled with holes, everywhere in search of precious metals like gold, but often there isn't even the slightest accessible road to reach the areas where they exploit gold, let alone some basic social services. That's why we decided to revolt and take the destiny of our countries into our own hands. There are many other examples. But when we decided to do so, well, we were approached by some armchair slaves to deliver the message of their master, because they had created this kind of polymer chain that rises to the head of our states to serve them. And we came to break the chain. And it's inconceivable for them. They approached us and asked us to fall in line, to become part of the elite that must lead Africa. Because they have a trained and conditioned elite that they must follow, who are embedded in that chain. We refused to fall in line with them. And from then on, hostilities began.
In an unprecedented show of international solidarity, the creation of the Confederation of States of Sahel, AES, has garnered support beyond the borders of its member states. A significant movement uniting the AES diaspora convened across Europe to express their support for the governments of Niger, Mali, and Burkina Faso. This group, composed of passionate individuals, is calling on the entire diaspora to back these countries in their quest for genuine independence and self-determination. The meeting, organized by the Patriotic Movement for the Defense of the Alliance, was a vibrant demonstration of unity and purpose. Participants gathered to show their unwavering support for the AES states, emphasizing the critical importance of strengthening ties between the institutions of the Sahel states and their diaspora communities in Europe. The atmosphere was charged with a sense of duty and commitment to the cause of sovereignty and self-governance.
Le sort de nos pays ne se décidera plus à Londres. Le sort de nos pays ne se décidera plus à Washington.
One of the key organizers passionately addressed the assembly, underscoring that the momentum for this movement would not wane and must be fully supported. This is about our sovereignty, they declared. The fate of our countries will no longer be decided in London, Washington, or Paris. We are committed to fighting for our independence and self-determination. The speaker's words resonated deeply with those present, many of whom have long felt the need for a stronger, more autonomous stance for their homelands. The organizers urged everyone present to mobilize and organize within their respective communities to support the cause of the AES. They emphasized the importance of collective action, not just within Europe, but across the global diaspora. The message was clear: unity and solidarity are essential to achieving the goal of genuine independence. The movement in Europe is not an isolated event. It has attracted support from a diverse range of individuals, not only members of the AES states, but also from other nationalities. This broader international support underscores the universal appeal and importance of the objectives championed by the AES. It reflects a growing recognition that the fight for self-determination and sovereignty is a global concern, resonating with people far beyond the borders of Niger, Mali, and Burkina Faso. The meetings across Europe mark a significant step in the global movement supporting the Confederation of States of Sahel. They highlight the power of diaspora communities in championing the cause of their homelands and the importance of international solidarity in the fight for independence. As the momentum continues to build, the call for genuine sovereignty and self-determination for the AES states is resonating more loudly than ever. The spirit of unity and determination demonstrated in Europe serves as a powerful reminder that the pursuit of independence is a shared struggle, transcending borders and uniting people in a common cause.
Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger have signed a treaty establishing a confederation called the Alliance of Sahel States. The three countries are under military rule. Captain Ibrahim Traore of Burkina Faso, Colonel Assimi Goïta of Mali, and General Abdurrahmane Chiani of Niger met in Niger's capital Niamey on Saturday, July 6, for an inaugural summit of the transitional rulers. Niger's Chiani said they had irrevocably left the West African regional bloc ECOWAS, which they accused of unfairly targeting Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger after the military took power in those countries between 2020 and 2023. All the three countries have experienced regular insurgent attacks which have left thousands of people dead. While assuming power, the military rulers said failure to address the perennial problem of insecurity was their main reason for staging coups. In January this year, Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger announced their intention to leave ECOWAS, saying the regional bloc was no longer serving their interests but those of foreigners. ECOWAS had imposed trade, financial, and transport sanctions on the three countries before lifting the restrictions in February. While announcing the formation of their new confederation on Saturday, Chiani said he, Traore and Goita wanted to build a sovereign community far from the control of foreign powers. He added the new body will promote peace, solidarity and prosperity based on African values. Traore said the governments of Burkina Faso, Mali and Niger will consolidate the foundations of our true independence. He added that Africa continues to suffer from the fire of the imperialists. Mali's Goita said the strengthened relation means an attack on one of us will be an attack on all the other members. The Confederation said it will cooperate on security and also introduce a common currency for the three countries. The nations want to do away with the French-backed Central African franc, a currency used by many French-speaking countries in West Africa. After declaring their intention to leave ECOWAS in January, the regional bloc urged Burkina Faso, Mali and Niger to hold dialogue with the bloc's leadership to prevent their exits. The three nations, however, declined, saying they had made up their minds. On Sunday, July 7th, ECOWAS heads of state met in Nigeria's capital, Abuja, and reiterated their call to the breakaway countries to rescind their decision, saying the West African bloc risks disintegration. ECOWAS Commission's President Omar Toure said the trio's exit would disrupt freedom of movement and settlement of people, as well as worsen insecurity in the region. Despite ECOWAS saying Burkina Faso, Mali and Niger can only leave the body 1 year from January 29th, when they formally submitted their withdrawal notices, the three nations say they have already left the bloc. The three breakaway countries have a combined population of about 72 million people. Of ECOWAS's,
what if the most revolutionary transformation in West Africa isn't being driven by gold, oil, or foreign investments, but by a railway? Yes. A railway. A bold and ambitious transport artery that will soon link the capitals of Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger, Ouagadougou, Bamako, and Niamey. And it's no longer just a proposal. It's starting now, and it's starting in Burkina Faso. This is West Africa's biggest railway project, not just because of its physical scale, but because of what it symbolizes: freedom, unity, and economic liberation. It will crisscross three of the Sahel's largest nations, cutting across vast, underserved territories, and finally stitching together an economic corridor that reflects the new vision of the Alliance of Sahel States, AES. This ambitious initiative is set to redefine the region's economic landscape, foster integration, and address logistical challenges that have long hindered trade and development. Stretching across thousands of kilometers, the railway will link key cities and industrial hubs, making it easier for goods and people to move across borders. But this project is more than just an infrastructure upgrade. It is a bold statement of sovereignty and unity by the Alliance of Sahel States, AES. Historically, railways in West Africa were designed to serve colonial interests, primarily facilitating the extraction of raw materials for export. The new railway project flips this narrative by focusing on regional trade and economic development. It aims to connect landlocked nations like Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger to each other and to coastal ports, reducing transportation costs and boosting trade efficiency. For instance, routes such as the Bamako-Niamey-Ouagadougou corridor will play a pivotal role in linking agricultural zones, mining areas, and urban centers. This connectivity will enable farmers, manufacturers, and traders to access broader markets while fostering economic growth in remote regions. Before we continue, welcome to Azizi Africa, where we bring the African vision to life and make African stories go global. Help us in pushing the message forward as we continue to inspire, educate, and empower. Subscribe now, like, and share our videos, and don't forget to hit that notification bell for our next videos. Now let's continue. The railway project aligns with the broader integration agenda of the AES, a bloc formed by Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger to promote unity and self-reliance. The AES has launched several initiatives aimed at fostering closer ties among member states. One such initiative is the introduction of a common biometric passport that allows citizens to travel seamlessly across borders without cumbersome paperwork. This is complemented by free phone roaming across AES countries, which has eliminated extra charges for cross-border communication. Plans are also underway to establish a confederation bank that will finance joint economic ventures and provide financial stability to member states. Additionally, the AES has created a joint military force comprising 5,000 troops to combat terrorism and ensure regional security. These integration efforts symbolize a shared determination to break free from dependency on foreign powers and create an independent identity rooted in Pan-African values. The railway project is particularly significant because it represents a tangible step toward achieving economic sovereignty. By modernizing freight systems and extending rail networks into key industrial zones, AES countries aim to boost local industries and reduce reliance on foreign shipping routes. For example, manufactured tomato products from Burkina Faso could be shipped efficiently to Mali and Niger by rail instead of relying on costly road transport. Similarly, petroleum products from Niger could be transported seamlessly to other AES countries, fostering intra-regional trade. The logistical challenges of hauling goods across West Africa have long been a barrier to economic growth. Currently, most goods are transported by trucks over poorly maintained roads that are often impassable during the rainy season. This not only increases transportation costs, but also leads to significant delays. For instance, moving agricultural produce like tomatoes from Burkina Faso to Mali or Niger can take days or even weeks due to road conditions and border bottlenecks. Perishable goods often spoil before reaching their destination, resulting in financial losses for farmers and traders. The new railway system promises to eliminate these challenges by providing a faster, more reliable mode of transportation. Trains can carry larger volumes of goods at lower costs compared to trucks, making it easier for businesses to scale up operations. For example, tomato paste manufacturers in Burkina Faso will no longer have to worry about delays or spoilage when shipping their products to neighboring countries. Similarly, petroleum products from Niger can be distributed more efficiently across AES nations, reducing dependency on imports from outside the region. The railway project also addresses broader logistical issues related to cross-border trade in West Africa. Currently, trucks transporting goods between countries face numerous obstacles, including inconsistent customs procedures and high tariffs. These barriers not only increase costs, but also discourage trade among neighboring nations. By creating a unified rail network with standardized procedures for freight movement, the AES aims to streamline cross-border trade and foster economic integration. 3 visionary leaders are driving this transformation: Captain Ibrahim Traoré of Burkina Faso, Colonel Assimi Goïta of Mali, and General Abdourahmane Chiani of Niger. These leaders share a bold anti-colonial stance and have prioritized policies that promote regional sovereignty over foreign influence. Their leadership has inspired widespread support across their nations as they work together to build a self-reliant Sahel. Traoré has been particularly vocal about decolonization and the need for African nations to take control of their own destinies. He has emphasized that the fight against terrorism is also a struggle against imperialist-backed insurgencies that destabilize the region. Similarly, Goïta has championed policies aimed at empowering local communities through resource nationalization and infrastructure development. Chiani has focused on strengthening regional security through joint military efforts while advocating for greater economic cooperation among AES countries. Their shared vision has led them to make bold decisions that challenge traditional power structures in West Africa. In January 2025, Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger officially withdrew from ECOWAS, Economic Community of West African States, citing its failure to address pressing issues like jihadist violence while imposing sanctions that hurt ordinary citizens. This decision marked a turning point in West African politics as these nations signaled their intent to forge their own path through AES. The railway project is central to this vision of independence and cooperation. By connecting key cities across Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger with modern rail infrastructure, AES aims to create an integrated economic space that benefits all member states. The project will also facilitate the movement of people within the region by providing affordable transportation options for commuters. However, Building such an extensive railway network comes with its own set of challenges. Security remains a major concern in the Sahel region due to ongoing jihadist violence that threatens infrastructure projects and disrupts daily life. Ensuring safety along rail routes will require robust security measures backed by coordinated efforts from AES member states. Funding is another significant hurdle for this ambitious project. While resource nationalization efforts have provided some financial support, building modern railways requires substantial investment that may exceed available resources. To address this issue, AES countries are exploring alternative partnerships with non-Western allies like Russia for technical expertise and financial assistance. Despite these challenges, the railway project represents hope for millions across West Africa, who yearn for progress rooted in self-reliance rather than external aid. As Captain Traoré aptly stated during a recent summit, we must abandon the mindset of dependency. We have high-quality human resources. We have natural resources. Now let's unlock our creative potential. This sentiment resonates deeply with people across Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger, who see the railway as more than just an infrastructure upgrade. It is a symbol of unity and resilience in the face of adversity. In conclusion, West Africa's biggest railway project isn't just about connecting cities. It's about connecting people, ideas, and opportunities across borders previously divided by logistical challenges and political barriers. It embodies the spirit of unity championed by AES leaders who are rewriting their nation's narratives with bold policies aimed at fostering economic sovereignty. As we watch this transformation unfold before our eyes, a transformation rooted in Pan-African ideals, one thing becomes clear. The Sahel states are charting a new course defined by solidarity rather than division, prosperity rather than poverty, independence rather than dependency. What excites you most about this railway project? Do you believe it will achieve its ambitious goals? Let us know your thoughts below. If you believe in an Africa that rises on its own terms, if you support this movement for self-reliance, dignity, and progress, then be part of the change. Like this video, share it far and wide, and let the world know that a new Africa is here. And of course, make sure to subscribe to Izizi Africa, where we bring the African vision to life and make African stories go global. Hit that notification bell so you never miss an update on the transformation happening across our great continent.